Hello, everybody. I am back with a new update on both the diet and the daily update. Let's share. So, big news today. I am 145.6 pounds. And for those who have been keeping track, one of you, but for those keeping track, I was intending on dropping to 145, and I'm only 0.6 pounds away. Feels pretty good, not gonna lie. It's honestly kind of surreal being near the weight that I've been promising myself to achieve when I started this whole diet thing 171 days ago. Man, it's crazy. It's almost like half a year. Well, we'll see if I've achieved my goal by tomorrow, but for today, pretty awesome. Alright, moving on. What was eaten? Well, I had a sandwich made with keto bread. I think it was the Keto Seed branded bread. It had mustard, mayonnaise, baked turkey, shaved lunch meat, and a pepper jack cheese slice, along with a bag of the Quest pizza flavored chips and a can of Mr. Pibb's zero sugar soda. It was quite good. Next thing I ate today included a bowl of chicharrones, about 32 grams, I would say, and then 32 grams of beef jerky, and that was pretty good too. The jerky had about 8 grams of carbohydrates, but the chicharrones had 0 grams, so that's nice. And then I had the exact same thing I had in the morning later today. Turkey sandwich with keto bread, mustard, mayonnaise, pepper jack cheese. But instead of having the Quest pizza flavored chips like I did last time, this time around I had chicharrones with a bit of chamoy sauce put on top. Just a little bit, not too much. And I measured the chamoy using a grams measuring device to ensure I didn't go over my intended target. So there'd be a minimal amount of carbs. I also got another Mr. Pibb's as well. Alright, well, after eating that, I remember I wanted to try the Premier Protein shake that was caramel flavored, so I gave that a shot. It was okay. I think I prefer the chocolate one though, if I'm being honest. And yeah, that's pretty much it, other than two cups of coffee. No, 3 cups of coffee. Yeah, 3 cups. Alright, well, what was done for exercise today? I did go on a 30-minute walk where every 2-3 minutes I would go for a sprint or a run for about 3 minutes before stopping and then continuing to walk. It was what one would call a HIIT workout session. I also did about 2 minutes worth of planks because I hear that's good for helping out with your body posture and strengthening your core. Specifically through Google Gemini, I asked that question, what are the benefits of the plank form? And I also did about 20 minutes of full body stretching because I noticed that my back was hurting, and I think it probably is because I'm not exercising all of the muscles in my body to make sure they all are getting equal attention. And because of that, some parts of my body, some muscle parts are getting more demanding work than others because others are probably getting weakened due to not being used enough. And you know the old saying, move it or lose it. So I need to definitely use it. Otherwise, I'm going to lose it. So I did a 20-minute full body stretch this around the afternoon. And that's all the exercise done today. It's probably the most exercise I've done on a day off in quite a while. I really need to stick to it. Okay, well, that's the diet update. Let's move on to the daily update. So I woke up once again at around 11, actually it was around 12. And I remember I decided to ask Claude, one of those AI chatbots, the top 10 things one must do if one is to have a clear, level head and not have brain fog and just have a fully productive day while also being able to enjoy one's day. And some things it stated was hydrate immediately after waking up and then do some form of exercise. So I did drink water, and I did go for a little walk around the neighborhood, so I guess I could cross that one off. Eat breakfast with protein. I guess turkey can be counted as protein along with the Quest chips, so I can cross that one off. 20 minutes of brain jam. I actually did over 30 minutes of brain jam today, but that was later in the afternoon, around like 8:30, 9 o'clock. And then make a list of 3 things you need to do today. I did not do that, but I did have a list in my head, and that list was buy new pants because my old work pants keep on sliding off of me because my waistline has substantially gone down. So I did get pants, but yeah, that's pretty much the only major thing I did today in terms of like things that need to get done, I suppose. Avoid electronics for the first hour. I indeed avoided electronics for the first hour. And this list says top 10 things to do before 11 a.m. I'm going to just change that to do because all of these took me like the entire day to do, sporadically different points of the day. Breakfast was in the morning, but the funny thing was it says before 11 a.m. I ended up waking at 12, so the title's rendered mute anyways. But anyways, get natural light exposure. I did go on that morning walk, so yes. Journal for 15 minutes. I did not journal for 15 minutes, unless this counts as journaling, what I'm doing right now, so I don't know. But I didn't literally get my journal and write my thoughts down so well. And then prepare so you have what you need. Not exactly sure, that's kind of a vague statement. I guess I got the pants and then I took a picture of the receipt in case I needed to send the pants back or put on my taxes of what I spent for work or whatever. So technically I guess I can cross that one off, but that one's so vague that I'm not sure if I'm going to include that for like a future list. Have a consistent wake up time. Obviously I'm failing at that. Last 2 days I woke up at like 11 a.m. in the morning, and today I woke up at 12 p.m. so I'm failing horribly on that front, and I really hope I wake up at least around 8 a.m. this morning because I go to work tomorrow from 1 p.m. to 10 p.m. So I want to have a nice long time to get some personal tasks done and just also enjoy my morning as well. And then complete one small but necessary task. I don't know. I guess I could count my contour line drawing or as the small but necessary task for improving my art skills. So I did everything on the list except for make a list of 3 things you need to do. So I guess I technically already made a list here, so that seems kind of redundant. But journal for 15 minutes. Again, maybe that's also redundant because I'm doing this. And have consistent wake up time, and I'm failing horribly at that because I just spend way too much time staying up, like watching dumb YouTube videos or playing games or recording my update videos for way too long. But yep, there's the list. Not bad if I do say so myself. Yeah. Very nice. Okay, but now that we've covered that, I think I've also technically covered what I did today when I was going through that list. But I guess we could go by a play-by-play. When I woke up, I immediately made the decision of avoiding any electronics for a while. I put on my shoes. I went on a walk around the neighborhood to get natural sunlight and just enjoy the nice, like, midday fresh air. It was a very beautiful afternoon today. I loved it. And when I arrived home, my mom was there, I believe. She was stating that she was going to a square dance party later tonight. Well, she didn't know it was a square dance party at the time. Of course, in retrospect, now we know, but at the time she thought it was like a professional little dance party with for the church. She invited me. I wasn't really interested in dancing, and so I declined. Also, the price is $20, so I'm also trying to save some money. But yeah, I wished her, I hoped that she would have a great time. And then remember, what happened after that? I think my mom and oh yeah, I remember. I promised my mom that I would write check for groceries and utilities, so I got the checkbook and I was writing it for what I needed to write. But I also told her that after this is done, maybe we could go to the clothes store because I want to get some clothes, and I was wondering if you'd be interested in coming. She said yes, but she also said that she had already made plans currently to get her haircut with her family friend, but rest assured after the haircut she would be able to go on the trip with me. So yeah, I wrote the check. Then I was found out that I got a text from my middle sister about being interested in seeing the movie Marty Supreme with me and my mom and my youngest sister. So I let her know about the location, the time, and potential eatery location we could go to afterwards. So yeah, that was pretty cool. And after that, I told my sister said, "Hey, are you thinking about getting popcorn?" And then I said, "Nah, I think I'll save that for a different film that I'm interested in seeing on my birthday." This movie, it's called Arco. I don't really know much about it other than like it has a really interesting art style. I assumed it was like anime, but not anime because it doesn't have an anime aesthetic. But then I did a little bit of digging. Apparently, it's a French film, so I didn't know that. But now that I do, I'm even more intrigued. And then I told her, yeah, I think like these kinds of animated films remind me of those that we watched when we were younger that were more artsy and daring and tried to break the mold and were like a bunch of creative people who were given a budget and allowed to tell the story they wanted to tell. And one example I gave was this film called Triplets de Belleville. She said she didn't remember it, so I tried showing her a trailer of the film, and she said she still didn't remember it. And then I said, well, I guess you didn't remember it because I remember my eldest sister showed me and our like mom and I think my brother it like way back in the day. Like I think it was like a DVD Netflix mail-in movie back in like 2007 or 8 perhaps. It was a long time ago. So yeah, but I showed her the trailer. She said there's something kind of creepy about this movie. And I tried to give her a basic plot synopsis where it's about like this boy and he lives with his grandmother and they watch like TV together, and one of the shows they watch is called the Triplets de Belleville, where it's like a vaudeville act where three women sing in front of a crowd and showcase different like weird circus acts. And then like the boy just grows up to enjoy cycling, so it takes a completely different turn where the boy wants to go on sort of a cycling competition in the United States. And so they travel across the sea from France to the United States. And when they get there and he goes on his bicycle sports game, he ends up getting human trafficked by the mob into a like betting game where like he has to cycle along with his two other cyclists, and whoever ends up giving out gets killed by the mafia. So now it's a race against time with the boy who's now a grown young man's grandmother to find out where her grandson is. And then she ends up meeting the Triplets de Belleville that they saw on the TV, and she ends up getting help from them to save her grandson. So that's pretty much the basic premise of the film, and it's a really bizarre movie. It was like animated by a former French Disney animator who wanted to make his own stuff and didn't want to follow the studio system, just make something really strange and unusual. So yeah, good on him for doing that. But yeah, but then my sister was like, "Why did he even bring this up in the first place? What's this got to do with Arco?" And I said, "Well, basically, the basic concept that they're both like French animated films that were made by like independent artists that were given a budget to realize a dream they had. That's really the only reason I brought it up." So yeah. But anyways, after explaining that and showing the trailer, I think I tried finding show times for the film on the 30th on the AMC website. Apparently, they don't post the show times for Arco for January 30th until Wednesday. So I'm definitely going to be checking back then to see the updated release. So that should be interesting. Okay, well, yeah, I did get a response from my little sister saying she would be able to come to watch the film with us, so that's exciting. And then after that, my mom and family friend went to get their haircuts. Then I decided to use that time. I decided to time myself for an hour, and I worked. Before I did timing myself on an hour, I watched about 20 minutes of a RedLetterMedia video. These are guys who talk about movies. It was Mike Stoklasa and Rich Evans talking about Star Trek Deep Space Nine and what they like about the show, and little nitpicks here and there, but overall they still say they still generally enjoy it. And then they go over 5 episodes in no particular order of their favorite from the series. And they get into all kinds of nerdy talk about where Trek is now and where Trek was back in the day. It's always cool to see fans of like a franchise who are really great at articulating their opinions and ideas and thoughts talk about why they enjoy what they enjoy. It's neat to see. It also helps that they're very funny too and got great editing. Although I did notice like a mini editing mistake first time in a RedLetterMedia video. It's a short little blip, but it was something that was like, aha, I got you. And it was when, like, I think they were switching to footage of Deep Space Nine. When they put the footage on, you could still see the background of the previous video before the background went black. And it was only lasted about like half a second. And that's like, the rest of the video was fine. But that one mistake kind of stood out like a sore thumb because normally their videos are really well produced and really tightly constructed. So a little seam split there, but it's all good. Still a good video. Just one flaw out of a solid watch. But the video was like 56 minutes long or something like that. I decided to watch only 20 minutes of it while eating before I decided to then switch gears to working on a little animation project on OpenToons, a animation software that was used by Studio Ghibli that eventually the company decided to make open source, so anyone who's a huge fan of 2D animation can use it and develop their own productions and stuff. So I'm using it to make a sort of little music video based on the song that I hear at work that plays all the time called I Won't Ever Let You Down. And I just thought the song had a really fun sound, really good beat to it. And I wanted to add my own spin by bringing in some drawings that are representative of what pops into my head when I hear the music. So I did that for like about almost an hour, but I had 17 minutes left before eventually my mom and our family friend arrived from their haircuts, and my mom wanted to take me to get the pants, so I was like, okay. So I put on my shoes, and we went off to go to the clothes store. And when we arrived, we noticed there was a grocery store that was next to the clothes store that was just gone. It wasn't there anymore. And there was a sign that said, sorry for the inconvenience, but we are permanently closed. So yeah, when I saw it, I was like, dang, the store was there 1 minute and then gone the next. That's insane. And apparently I looked up on my phone, it closed back in November, so the fact that happened is just crazy. But then we went into the clothes store nearby, and we went through different sizes, from 35, 34 to like 32, 30, and then eventually we settled on 30, 30 because that was the only size where I could put it on and not have to worry about the pants starting to slip down from my waist like my current pair of pants do right now, which is why I need to wear a belt, but the belt gets extremely irritating and hurts my spine after a while. So yeah, I decided to get that one, and when we were about to leave, my mom was chilling out by the clearance rack looking at different, shirts to buy, and she kept on looking at herself in the mirror with them and asking me which one I like. And I was like, they're fine. They're all good. Whichever one you like. I'm a practical clothes shopper. I mean, if I'm going to be buying something with the intent of looking fashionable, then sure, I'll start thinking about that. But I don't really clothes shop for fun. I only clothes shop if I need to clothes shop. Like if I'm going to an event and I want to look nice at the event, then I'll find clothes that look nice. But if I'm left to my own devices, I just want to get in, get out, and leave. But my mom, she really likes shopping, especially like if it's for a really good deal. Eventually she did find a shirt she liked, and then we left. We our clothes purchased, and then luckily we had a really great coupon available that took 30% off the clothes that was being sold at the time. And so the total amount for me was $60.33, which, whoa. For those who don't know, I have budgeted each of my weeks to be $63. So that means that I only have like, I think like $2 and something cents left for the rest of the week. I think that's kind of funny. Luckily, I was given a gift card for the restaurant nearby, so I was able to do what I need to do for that. So that's great, in case I need it. So I won't go over budget. Now, when we arrived back home, I put the clothes away, and then I decided go on 30-minute walk because I felt like I wanted to just enjoy the outside. I said goodbye to my mom, a family friend, my sister, and I went off. I walked for like, intervals, then ran in intervals, and yeah, and I did do some planks earlier today, specifically while waiting for my mom to shop in the clearance area at the clothes store. So yeah, that's where I found out about the plank benefits. And then when I was done with doing my little walk and run thing, I did a little meditation. So that was nice. It lasted for about 30 minutes. And then finally, I did some full body stretching for about 20 minutes. And I felt pretty good after that, a little more flexible. It really let me know how tight a lot of my body is when I was doing those stretches on the TV. Like there was like a lady showing me how to do it. It just made me realize, dang, I'm really like out of it. I need to just do this every day so I don't end up getting a really horrific back. So yeah, and then after that I decided I went to go in my room and do 30 minutes of brain jam editing, which basically had to do with drawing some new story frames for a character which was unknown commenter. I just made his head a question mark because I thought that'd be funny. And then the other one was original character, something like 6, 7, and I decided, well, people make fun of the fact that people draw their own versions of the Sonic the Hedgehog characters and they're basically just like fill in the blanks. So I drew like my version of that because I thought it was kind of a funny visual gag. And then the timer went off. I also spent 17 minutes doing a little bit more of the animation little project, and that worked out pretty well. Then afterwards I got really hungry. Before I went to make something, I did watch a video of like a SpongeBob dark ride because it was recommended to me on YouTube and it looked interesting, and it looked okay. It wasn't that like mind-blowing, but it was fine for what it was. And then I made another ham sandwich and chicharrones and Mr. Pibbs, and I decided to watch more of that RedLetterMedia video about Deep Space Nine. And yeah, afterwards I realized that I need to do my contour line practice, so I decided to put on a video on the TV, and it was like a guy playing the old Madagascar games, and while he was playing them, drew my television and my bedroom, and here's what that looks like. So yeah, there you go. Little contour line work. Got to keep those drawing muscles strong every day, otherwise they'll atrophy and fall off, and we don't want that. Then I was like, oh my gosh, I'm tired. What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's like 12 something. Let me make my update video so I can just post this and go to bed. And so here it is. So overall, that's pretty much the day. It's a pretty decent day. Got a lot done. I kind of wish I was able to do all my productive stuff at the beginning of the day so I could enjoy the rest of my day. But I'm glad I was able to do all my productive stuff regardless. Well, thank you for watching, and have yourself a great night. I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.